Greetings, dear listeners. Before I begin today's story, a story about betrayal, silence, and the moment a mother finally chose herself, I ask you to support this channel. Please subscribe, like this video, and write in the comments which city or country you are listening from. It truly means more than you know. Now, let me tell you my story. The house was too quiet the morning my son stopped answering my calls. Not peaceful quiet, the kind that presses against your ears and makes your thoughts louder. The kind that tells you something has already happened, even if no one has said it out loud yet. I sat at the small kitchen table, hands wrapped around a mug of cold coffee, staring at my phone. 3 missed calls. No response. No, I'll call you later, Mom. No, busy right now. Just silence. Evan used to call every morning. Not because he wanted to talk, but because he liked knowing I was still where he left me. Still in the house. Still predictable. Still convenient. I didn't know then that this would be the last morning I'd drink coffee in that kitchen as its owner. I was 67 years old. A widow. A retired school librarian. The house wasn't fancy, a modest 2-story home in a quiet Ohio suburb, but it was mine. Paid off. Every wall carried fingerprints of my life, pencil marks for measuring Evan's height, a crack near the stairs from when he was 10 and tried to skateboard indoors, the faint smell of lemon cleaner and old books. After my husband died, Evan moved back, temporarily. Temporary turned into 5 years. He didn't pay rent. Didn't buy groceries. Didn't ask, he informed. Mom, I need the guest room. Mom, don't touch my stuff. Mom, I'll handle the finances. You're not good with technology. I let him. That was my mistake. The letter arrived that afternoon. Certified mail. I remember thinking how official it looked, how heavy the envelope felt in my hands. My name was spelled correctly, something Evan rarely bothered to do. Inside was a notic. The house wasn't fancy, a modest 2-story home in a quiet Ohio suburb, but it was mine. Paid off. Every wall carried fingerprints of my life, pencil marks for measuring Evan's height, a crack near the stairs from when he was 10 and tried to skateboard indoors, the faint smell of lemon cleaner and old books. After my husband died, Evan moved back, temporarily. Temporary turned into 5 years. He didn't pay rent. Didn't buy groceries. Didn't ask, he informed. Mom, I need the guest room. Mom, don't touch my stuff. Mom, I'll handle the finances. You're not good with technology. I let him. That was my mistake. The letter arrived that afternoon. Certified mail. I remember thinking how official it looked, how heavy the envelope felt in my hands. My name was spelled correctly, something Evan rarely bothered to do. Inside was a notice. Notice of sale. Transfer of property. Effective immediately. I read it 3 times before the words made sense. My house had been sold. I sat down slowly, as if my bones had suddenly aged another decade. Sold, under a power of attorney. A power of attorney I didn't remember signing. But when I opened the drawer where Evan organized my documents, I found it. My signature. Real. Familiar. He had slipped it in between medical forms months ago. Told me it was for insurance stuff. I trusted him. That night, Evan came home smiling. Too smiling. He tossed his keys on the counter and said casually, "Good news, Mom. I took care of everything." I didn't scream. Didn't cry. I asked one question. Where am I supposed to go? He sighed, annoyed, like I'd asked something unreasonable. I found you a place. Assisted living. Temporary. Just until things settle. Temporary. The same word he used 5 years ago. I nodded. Smiled. And that scared him more than anger ever could. That night, while Evan slept upstairs, in my bed, I sat at the kitchen table with a legal pad. I made 2 lists. What he thinks I am. Old. Confused. Dependent. Afraid. What I actually am. Educated. Patient. Documented. Done. I remembered something Evan forgot. Before I was his mother, I was a librarian. And librarians know how to research. The next morning, while Evan packed boxes with things that weren't his to pack, I went for a walk. I didn't go far. Just to the house across the street. Mrs. Callahan. Retired paralegal. She invited me in, poured tea, and listened without interrupting. When I finished, she said calmly, "He committed fraud." 2 words. Fraud. Not misunderstanding. Not family disagreement. Fraud. Within a week, everything changed. The sale was frozen. The buyer backed out. The power of attorney was challenged. Turns out, when you sell a house using deception against a mentally competent owner, the law does not smile kindly upon you. Evan came home one evening pale. "They called me," he said. "Lawyers." I nodded. "They called me too." The final conversation happened in the living room. The same room where I once read him bedtime stories. Now he stood there, angry, desperate. "You'd really do this to me?" he shouted. "I'm your son." I looked at him, truly looked, and felt something strange. Not anger. Relief. "I was your mother," I said softly. "And you treated me like an obstacle." Silence filled the room. I handed him an envelope. Eviction notice. 30 days. Legal. Final. Evan moved out angry.
No goodbye. No επάλεγη.
The house became quiet again, but this time, it was different. It was mine. I repainted the kitchen. Sold the second car. Joined a book club. Booked a solo trip to Maine, my first vacation alone in 40 years. And every morning, I drink my coffee slowly. Hot. At my table. So tell me, dear listeners, was I wrong? Is being a parent a lifetime sentence? Or a role that deserves respect? Write in the comments what you think, and where you're listening from. And remember, choosing yourself is not cruelty. Sometimes, it's survival.